Hitting 67 and having 6 arthroscopes on the knees over the years from sports and having no ACL in either knee, my knees were in tough shape. And this is me. I'd retired from senior softball last year because I couldn't run. I couldn't even jog at first, and I couldn't bend or put any weight on my knees. And you can just look at how stiff-legged I'm swinging here. Not good at all. So going into the fall harvest, I'm a grain farmer, drive a combine 16 hours a day. Actually got from my plain weight of 280 or 85 up to 305, and the pain was so excruciating, that's how I had to come up and down stairs. Just no fluidity at all, and he decided, hey, I'm gonna try to lose some weight, try to get the knee done. So first thing I did was Southwest Health near me in Platteville, Wisconsin, had a great orthopedic clinic, and the surgeon, Dr. Josh Lindsay, just his reputation's incredible. He did all my friends, and I went to him, and super glad I did. He decided I should get a custom-made conformist knee. So this is my first 3-month diary. It went really well for me, but at least it gives you some insight into what the process is like. Well, making my first steps home. It's about 24 hours since I had surgery. I can put all the weight on the knee. This is the end of day number 2. Walk without a cane. We did take a few swings, but actually the knee feels phenomenal. Getting it pretty straight. The range of motion back is the most painful, but actually slept well last night. Almost off the opioids completely. Swelling really is what's kind of amazing. The swelling's way down on it, but the pain never was that bad. Not a lot of bleeding in there, and wearing the expansion socks on it. And I can do the drills back and forth that they give you, shifting back and forth. And that's amazing to me. That's only after 2.5 days since the actual surgery itself. So I'm going to walk on the treadmill here some at about a half mile an hour. I've got a good way to support myself so I have stability. Walk on the treadmill, and then try to walk on the bike and try to see if I can start to get more range of motion, more bend and flex in here. The longer that I wait after the surgery, the less effective it's going to be. I'll hop on here and see if I can get the pedal over the top and just go real nice and easy with it. There's a lot of tightness in my, there you get it, a lot of tightness in my quads right in here. The quad muscles are really tight on this. Otherwise the knee itself, I took no opiates last night. No painkillers out except for some acetaminophen that they recommended, and just trying to help with the exercises I'm doing to just try to keep a full range of motion, trying to get that to bend. Maybe I can pick up 120 degrees or 25 is good, but I think in my condition, if I can, especially I have big legs and whatnot, if I can get myself to 110 or 15, I think that would be a big improvement over the 94 where it was before. Get a little bit more strength and flexion each time. I could only go up sideways before. Pretty black and blue, but come along fast as long as you stay consistent with it. To show you don't have to sit around, this is my 4th day after total knee replacement on the right knee. I've got a GT, I've got some Evo BP balls. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna get my brace leg out, I'm gonna work on rotating my hips and upper body and just driving some balls off the tees just to keep in practice. I don't have to do anything weight bearing on this new knee. Just get my brace leg out a little bit, get to the point of contact. And then just work on this is 1 week since my knee replacement, my right knee. And I'm getting back pretty good range of motion. This is almost straight. And this went from 94 to being bent at about 104. But I'm just going to try to hit off the tee today and work on the 2 parts of the swing. Part number 1 we talked about, pushing yourself forward off the back leg, bringing your hands back, taking the stride and setting your body up, getting back to a connected position. And then out of here, I'll just rotate over. And that really shouldn't give this leg too much trouble. So again, this is 1 week after my right knee replacement, the first swings. What I have is a lot of stiffness on each side of the quad. One thing that I like about this is making me release off of this leg. I hold it there initially as I take the stride back, and then I release off it into the rotation. I'm 2 weeks post total knee replacement here. And if Mary can zoom in a little bit, you can see I just got the bandage off. I had my first meeting with the PA 2 weeks afterwards. There's stitches on the inside, but they super glued the outside. Nothing's oozing, it came out real good. And my swelling's down pretty good. It's somewhat tight around the knee here, but I gotta say I've had phenomenal luck in 2 weeks. I'm walking without a limp. Actually hit some balls off the tee yesterday, but I wanted to show a few of you guys. Everybody's experience is going to be different. I took a notepad here, and you can take a look here. I have the days, and I have the medications I take, vitamins I take, and how often you need to take a blood thinner and some other stuff. The painkillers, I went off the painkillers during the day at the end of day 1, and I was walking on day 2, and never went back to a cane or walker afterwards. The only time that I use a couple tabs of oxycodone a night because I've worked the hell out of my knee. It's been real sore, and so you find out that at nighttime that's magnified. During the day it feels fine. You know, I'm getting up here, I feel phenomenal. It feels better than it did before because I had such a knee problem, 3 surgeries on each knee. But at nighttime is the time I find where it's hard to sleep because any ache you feel at nighttime is magnified. So the only time I take one Flexil at night, I take 2 oxycodone, 5 milligrams a night, and that takes the edge off so I can sleep. Another thing that I did that you could do is I've got these twice-a-day vitamins and for the medications I have to take, and then I have one at noon. Just you kind of split it up and you can have it with meals, and helps keep it organized so you don't forget because I'm actually taking a lot of things like vitamin A, vitamin D, multi-purpose vitamin, fish oil, but then I have some medicines. I'm still on a Celebrix, I believe it is, which is an anti-inflammatory. But anything else, that's the only thing I'm on except for the Oxy at night, the 2 tabs to help me sleep. Otherwise, no opioids during the day and no other anti-inflammatories or anything else. The one thing that you need to do twice a day, they'll typically give this to you. This is an ice machine right here. And these are only about, I looked online, they're only a couple $100, but they give it to you for your bill when you leave the hospital. Put it around your knee, wrap it up around here, and then what I did was I rented for $220 a hospital bed. This allowed me to recline, put the ice on it, and get my knee above my heart so that the fluid comes off, it doesn't swell up as much. And I slept on it the first night. I heard that there's such horror stories about people having trouble sleeping. I slept on this the first night, but then after that I went back and slept on my regular bed. And one of the best exercises I've had has been a life cycle. I have a treadmill here and I have an exercise bike. And to get over the top here at the start was really hard, but once you get over the top and just do this real easy, and I progressed on to after 2 weeks I'm doing about 20 to 30 minutes of this on the exercise bike, and I'm lowering it enough so, again, I was so tight here before, but now I'm getting a pain right in here where that's the thing that's stretching, so I've got to go real easy on that so I don't tear it. But the exercise bike is great. I do that about 20 to 30 minutes once a day, and then I hop on the treadmill. But this really gets you good range of motion, and as your range of motion picks up, you can lower the seat so you get more bend in your leg. And I think more than anything else, this has been one of the best exercises I can do. I've been really happy with this physical therapy. I go twice a week, and he gave me a booklet of things that you start out with doing. And it's really important if you want to get your range of motion back to go through these. And I progressed past this after 2 weeks, but it's important to really work these out. And the physical therapy is one of the key elements of being successful with this because you want to make sure that you make a good comeback. Physical therapist has me doing it. I'm lucky enough to bought one of these at home. I got this on my right knee, and I could really work on range of motion down. I'm not using a lot of weight, but this is as far as my left knee could go, which needs replacement down the road. So I'll put my heel there, and I can really stretch it down towards the bottom. I've read online where people say don't do leg extensions, but my physical therapist said, yeah, just go ahead and do them real nice and easy. And it's important when you do these to really kick your toe back and to lock these quad muscles tight. So you try to really make sure that's straight.
Yeah, your knee was like beyond arthritic. I mean, it was definitely really severe, a lot of osteophytes. I mean, you had a lot of loose nuggets of bone floating around in there. I mean, your knee was on the severe spectrum of things. So I think obviously patients like you have a high pain threshold in general, as you've been putting up with it for probably a good 10 plus years, But I think people like you recover really well too because you're athletic. Yeah, the numbness in your skin. So like your skin nerves for your leg, they come down and they cross this direction. So anytime you have a vertical incision on the outside of your knee, you're going to be numb. So this area here, you're going to be numb. Same thing here. If you have a knee replacement on this side, you're going to be numb over here. And basically, I tell people is over time that numbness will decrease, but I don't think it'll ever get back to normal. Yeah. But it just has to do with the way our skin nerves go relative. How's your bend? What are they measuring you at?
I haven't had it measured, but it's really...
Oh, that's awesome. You're at least
show them the other one.
90.
Yeah, your knee didn't bend that well before surgery. No. One way, so we always go on the inside. So we actually, there's a bunch of tissue here that we lift off, and then we do the surgery essentially through this window, and then when we sew it all back down. So most people at 6 weeks after surgery are saying, yeah, I'm really sore right here. I've also had some soreness up here. And then at nighttime, I kind of feel like my knee is warm and throbbing a little bit. So those are really common things at 6 weeks post-op.
Having always lifted, being a college athlete, I thought I kind of knew a lot about training and whatnot. And this is what the eye-opener for me is how much difference a personal trainer made. Josh Bruner on the physical therapy just taught me a lot of things about balance. And there's a lot of improvement here, even at 6 weeks, walking up and down steps. And besides doing the weightlifting exercises, he showed me the way how to do it properly. There's a good right way and a wrong way, and a correct way to do it certainly makes a lot of difference on your rehab. The biggest thing was, now here, it doesn't look like much, but I couldn't even walk to first base before, so at 6 weeks, and that was a big improvement. But the balance, I'm so clumsy. I'm not much of an athlete, and one thing I really learned was these balance drills are great because you develop lateral strength besides just linear strength in it, and having a personal trainer for physical therapy was awesome. I'd highly recommend it. One of the best experiences I've had in this whole rehab.
So this works on your shift weight challenge. Perfect. The keys with this though is slight bend of your knees. Just bend your knees. There you go. Going with what your hip allows you to do. Sometimes we're afraid to kind of push patients, challenge patients a little bit more. So some patients don't get that point, and then you don't get adaptation and changes. So you don't get stronger, you don't get...
I stayed with you during this whole course of the 6 weeks because I learned a ton, and like doing that lateral, medicine ball throw. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm going to take out of this and I'll incorporate into my training. I think people that lift sometimes just are too linear. We aren't working on the balance, we aren't working on the other stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
I'm here 9 weeks post knee replacement on my right knee, and I must have got really lucky. I've got about 120 degrees of range of motion back. Feeling like my new knee is better than I ever remember being in the last 10 or 15 years. What I'm finding out now is because I have more fluidity, that I have a pain in my hip from bone spurs and the other knee's replacement. But this is my back knee, where you wind and squat on a little bit, and it's made a huge difference. I wanted to shoot today in tribute to Dave at Senior Softball Bat Reviews, him and Billy Blake, Bubba. A lot of the things I talked to Dave about on the phone, supplements, getting the right vitamin mixture into you, and continues to do it, so I thank him for the time he gave me ahead of time on learning about nutrition and some of the workout stuff. Just about 3 days short of 3 months on the knee replacement diarrhea, and this will be my last entry because I feel like the knee is at 100%. That it really isn't speed, it's not really hardly running, but it's so much better than I did before that I'm really delighted with how it's coming. I can't wait to see what it looks like when I get another 20 or 25 pounds off. For every pound of weight you have, what I feel it now is in the old knee, the one that's not repaired. Every pound of weight you have, there's 8 pounds of force on the knee or hip. The new knee, I think I could run twice as fast. The limiting factors are the other parts. So if I get the weight down, that's my next thing. Otherwise, I'm going to have to look at getting the other knee replaced. And I'm sure it will sometime down the road, but at 67 and feeling pretty good, all I've got to be able to do is hit with power and then not hit into a double play. For me, honestly, the biggest thing now is trying to relearn to swing because I have a lot more fluidity and I can throw off that back hip, wind and throw off that back hip and back foot. I find that I'm dragging the bat, so I have to really try to find the balance of how much I throw the lead arm off the rotation, how much I throw the top arm. That's awesome. That time I really focused on that top hand coming off the hip long ways. And that's the biggest change and difference here is that be able to load and get some weight on that rear leg and then drive off it. I'm using that to really get a lot more top hand. I was out of balance with the lead arm pull on the step and throw my top hand, throwing it at an up angle, Catching the point of contact back here, catch it from line to snap and drive it up in the air. Ooh, nice. Feel much more like I'm back here with the point of contact than way out here. Gives a lot better launch angle. Ooh, that's just killed. Back to where I can swing. I said if you want to be decent, you got to be able to swing with 90% of what you have. And I can do that now. And then you got to hit 90% of the ball. But let that point of contact come back to here. Catch it on the halfway point, palm up, drive it off the hip, grabbing that top hand. You get in balance and you aren't just dragging it. Everybody's improvement curve is going to be different on it, but just hang in there, be consistent, lose weight, eat right, get enough sleep, and make sure you work with your physical therapist. You're going to be very successful with it.
Hey, I don't always swing U-trip bats, but when I do, I prefer the Dale Brungard. The new models are top of the class. Go get you one. Swing D. Marinis, my friends.